2:30 in the goddamn morning. 2:30 in the goddamn morning. And I'm sitting at my kitchen table, worried for someone. There's a grown man who I thought possibly this week was punking us all. Until I saw the last video. And the expression on his face and within his eyes scared me. And the behavior of the people in his comment section scared me too. I don't know what's going on. I can take a joke with the best of them. And I try to roll with the punches as this is unfolded. And I've asked questions of both sides. I've watched the demeanor of both sides. And Ryan has classically stayed Ryan with his little digs and punks and, and the whole trademark thing was classic troll. Like, that's the best troll I've seen in I don't know how long. But, I mean, if you understand trademark, even if someone lets their trademark lapse, even if they've gone beyond their grace period, and even if someone else goes and applies to purchase it, they still have to deal with the person that uses it under common law, because they still have rights under common law use of that trademark. So they would still have to take someone to federal court to restrict the common law use and turn the name and trademark over to the new person that purchased it. Ron wasn't going to do that. He was just trolling the man. I mean, there was still that kind of ha-ha joking edge to it, but as I've watched the other party gradually increase his tactics, and as he's increased his tactics, his cry for physical violence has increased, and his desire to get him in a boxing ring and physically put his hands on him, and I'm like, okay. And I've been like, okay, surely they're punking us. Surely this is a scripted issue, and they made this all up. They're punking us. The beginning of next week, they're gonna go ha ha ha, and we've all been punked. And it's like, I don't think we're being punked. I think that it's just that scary right now. Well, Heavy Duty just came up and made a thing, and like I was just explaining, if you understand trademark and trademark law, yeah, you can go and apply and buy trademarks. Does it do a whole heck of a lot for you? No, I mean, it's a great troll. If you've got too much money and you don't care, it's a great troll. But if someone is still using that, if they had registered before or are still using it or have common law use over it currently, then you would have to take them to federal court to strip their ability to use it under common law so that you could then use it. It would have to go through federal court. That would be a lengthy and expensive process. Now, Ryan was doing his giggles and, regular punk stuff, and, it was an epic troll. Did any of us think he was going to go to federal court? No. And take this from, no. I think Ryan was trying to stop the punks from being like Heavy Duty was like trying to say that Ryan supports child abusers and really nasty things like that. I think Ryan was trying to take it back to just a regular, punk/troll rendition. So Heavy Duty then goes on and goes and purchases basically every trademark possible related to Ryan. Because you can trademark anything, any words, 2 words you want to put together, 1 word, 3 words, you can trademark it. And I'm sure Ryan already has basically anything that he's concerned about being trademarked. Otherwise, he has common law use over it. So it's not a big deal. But I mean, he took it as, like, he apparently went and purchased every trademark that he could muster that would match anything Ron had, which is a waste of money. It's a waste of time. And you still have to deal with the common law issue, which is you'd have to go to federal court to then exercise power over that trademark. So it's really not, I mean, it's a funny as a heck punk, but it's not that useful. But you could see in his eyes that he was extremely furious. And that in his mind, Ryan was coming after his ability to provide for himself. And it scared me. It scared the heck out of me. Like, I've worried why it's been amping up, and I've worried why the half-truths and the innuendos have gotten worse, and I'm like, surely they're punking us. Surely this is all scripted. Surely. I don't think that anymore. I really think that Heavy Duty is taking all of this to heart at a level that behooves me, because I thought he was like an epic troll too. So I thought he understood the troll game. I thought he had a good grasp on being on the internet and calling people out, because that's what he does, right? Something's changed. I'm concerned. Like his behavior and the condescending nature and the amplification of it this week, and the desire to physically get Upchurch in a ring or get somewhere where he can put his hands on him. Yeah, he's just stuck on that physical violence. He's stuck on getting his hands on Upchurch. And it looks like he really feels threatened. And now that I look back at, he really believes that whatever happened with that contract, that Upchurch was supposed to write his songs. And he was just supposed to roll in and sing him into the microphone, and everybody else was doing the work. Upchurch was going to write him songs when he didn't even pay Upchurch any money. The money went to Stone Baby Sounds for production of the tracks. But in his mind, Upchurch was going to write him hit songs and per his words, be his bitch. And then by having a feature of Boosie on his record, now he's supporting child abuse and BLM. I thought, man, these are just really big digs. Like, they're pissed at each other, but they're really trolling each other. And by the end of the week, they'll have punked us all, and they'll be best friends again. The look that I just saw on the man's face in the last video, I'm concerned. Like, I'm truly concerned. I don't know anyone to contact to see if he's okay. That was a huge personality swing in a week. And that was a huge affinity for violence in 3 or 4 days. That was a huge shift from normally using factual evidence to do a video to using misinformation to sick people on other people. I mean, I was kind of like behooved, because he's been using like left-leaning tactics all week, and we all know he's supposed to hate those. Now I'm thinking all these inconsistencies I don't know, it concerns me. You see this many changes in someone's demeanor and behavior inside of I'm worried. I don't know anybody to contact. I don't know of any way to get anybody to do a well check on him. And then you try to reach out and tell the subs, no, seriously, I'm concerned. Like, your boy's behavior is changing. I'm concerned. I've eliminated all options to think that maybe this is just an epic punk on, from them to us. I'm concerned. And I can't get anyone in his comment section to take me seriously, because they all just want to be as angry as him. And I'm like, this is not helping. This is not helping. I mean, yeah, your boy carries a lot of anger, but normally it's toward the left and particular practices. It's not normally aimed at people and personally wanting to physically manhandle them. That's a big shift. I don't know. It's concerning. I don't know if anybody else is seeing what I'm seeing. I just, I don't know the man personally, so all I can see is what he puts in this little box on the internet. And maybe this is who he's always been. He's just in his scripted videos where he just reads his little blurbs about the left. Maybe it doesn't show. Maybe this is the first time his true demeanor is showing, and I'm just kind of taken aback at how violent-minded it is. Maybe I'm struggling to see how someone who's been on this platform for so long is just now taking things awkwardly to heart. I don't know, but I just feel like something is not right. And I don't know how to check on him. So all I need to do is go live and say, hey dude, if you're hurting, reach out for help. Comment below. Leave me an email or something. Dude, if something's wrong, ask somebody for help. I really genuinely hope I'm not seeing the beginning of a spiral. I mean, it's scary. And I don't care to come on here and be emotional. I don't care what anyone's going to say in the comments. Make fun. I don't care. I'm genuinely concerned about this person's well-being. At this point, I've exhausted all options. That this is a huge troll joke, and that we were all in on a joke. I'm worried. I mean, Jamie, is this anything that you would have thought you would have seen from this person? Or is it just me? It's completely, like, have I just put blinders up to this side of his personality? Or is this just a huge change that I don't remember seeing this behavior from him before. And of course you can hide a lot through the internet, you can, but I just don't think this is normal. And anybody that watches this, please pull back on the energy you place there. I don't think this is the least bit funny anymore. I don't think anyone is taking this as a ha-ha troll punk. And it's just like, man, I'm honestly at this point concerned about everybody's well-being. And I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable at all. I'm concerned. So, yeah, like his last video scared the crap out of me. Like, I mean, I was trying to, like, follow my wake, and I was like, surely this is like a hellaciously big punk or troll to the fans. Surely this is just something they've scripted. You know, I'm going to try to pay attention and watch, and as the week went on, it worried me more. But then with the trademark thing, I thought, okay, this is a negotiated punk or troll. You know, they've gone in together to get us all good, you know. They're going to be best friends by the beginning of the week. And then that last video that he did, I just don't, the body language and the words he chose to use, and it just didn't seem right. Yeah, I am worried. And when anyone's demeanor changes that much, it freaks me out. And now that I am kind of satisfied that it's not a scripted punk or troll, I'm concerned. I don't want to see anybody in a bad headspace or, you know, dealing with something that they're not asking for help with. It's going to result in somebody going off. I just don't want to see somebody go off the deep end. You're baking donuts. Now I'm hungry. But yeah, that kind of scared me. And when I was trying to talk to his people, like, listen, common law use. He's got to know that Ryan just can't walk in and take over everything. It would have to go to federal court. I mean, it's a big process. He would have to know that that was like a massive punk troll, right? I don't think things are computing. I didn't even see a name thing on IG. I just saw his last YouTube video, and he just looked not... The looks he was giving me, I've seen on the faces of other people, but they're normally double shackled and chained to the floor. You know, retired parole officer here that dealt with murders. So to see that face and to see his demeanor, it just kind of, it worried me. I'm concerned. I'm concerned that something has changed, happened, occurred, which has created this big shift in his behavior we've seen, and it concerns me. And I'm honestly just very worried. And so, yo, dude, if you see this and you need help, please contact me. You know, I'm a turd. I can punk and troll with the best of them. But at this point, I truly am concerned. So, if I can be of any help to help locate resources, if something's going on and you need that, please reach out to me. I'll do anything I can, you know, to help locate avenues of aid for you to seek if you need something. That goes for anybody that runs across my channel. If you're in a bad headspace and need help, please reach out, ask for help. Any way I can, I'll do it. I'll help you find resources. We'll look for grants and scholarships. We'll find avenues of aid for you. You know, I can only do it, you know, as a friend, but I can definitely use what I learned working in the system, you know, to help you locate resources. Yeah, and it may just be that this is the first time I'm seeing him truly in an unscripted format, and maybe I just did not know that there was an anger there like what I saw. It was not pleasant to see that. I've worked with a lot of people in a lot of various states of mind after doing a lot of horrible things to others. And I will tell you that made me go back to my more horrifying moments in my career. It really tripped me back. Not pleasant. Not pleasant at all. So, like, if I could give advice to Ron, it would be like, back off, bud. He is not taking this on the same level as you are. He honestly, I believe, thinks there is a harmful intent, and I would not engage anymore. You know, I know it just kind of freaked me out. That, and I've never seen him use so many tactics of the left, like with the, you know, I'm going to align you with this person so that you're guilty of everything they've done in their life, and, you know, I'm gonna make you responsible for things I know you're not responsible for, but I'm gonna say it so many times that people are just gonna think it. And you know, he's done a lot of things like that. I've been like, I thought you didn't support that. And so I really, honestly, for like up until like midday today, thought we were running just an epic troll. And then I thought, no, this man's serious. This man's getting mildly aggressive. And then with the trademark thing, I thought, oh, it is an epic troll, because Brian would only do that as an epic troll, you know. It can't be serious now, because, you know, it would take years and numerous federal court dates to usurp a trademark. And so I thought, that's hilarious, but it's got to be a troll now. Now that I saw the last video, I don't know. I really believe the people are probably not in the best mental state, and it's showing, like the fissures and the cracks are showing, and maybe other people can't see it, but it worries the crap out of me. Worries the crap out of me. Because you never know how somebody's going to respond to this little box and the, you know, the emotions that it creates. He dropped down to 482,000 subs to originally, so he lost a couple of grand. He's losing supporters. Maybe that's what's, I don't know. It just seemed like something was different, like the entire demeanor was off. And it was one that if I'd walked in a room and seen someone behaving like that or talking to somebody with that kind of body language and intensity, I would have been like, put your back to a wall, find 2 exits, pay attention, watch hands, don't let them disappear. I would be on high alert. So it just struck me odd, and I was like, no, I'm going to have to say something. So I did a little video, and I thought, something, I'm just going to go on. Y'all, the internet is not that important. I will try to understand things, to talk things through, to try to grasp what somebody's saying, to try to understand these stupid trolls and little punks that people do to each other. And I don't even mind a good joke. I don't even mind a good joke or even a good debate, a heated debate. I don't mind any of that. But I do mind when I start to see intention within the way you handle your body and your eyesight, and and that is, I felt the energy, and I did not know. I've seen too much bad come from that. Yeah, didn't Bobby own that? That's what I thought. I thought Bobby, or at least the ones that matter, Bobby owns. Is it Bobby? It's Bobby, right? Is it Bobby? I need to go to bed. I think it's Bobby. So, like, I wasn't too worried when he's like, I'm gonna, he basically put in every word that could be related to Upchurch and went to buy it. And I was like, dude, don't waste your money. Because even if you purchase it, even if it's not one that really Upchurch cares about, before you can, enact control over it, you'll have to take it to federal court and petition a judge to remove the common law usage and apply the ownership to you. And that would cost so much money per each trademark, and I'm sure Ryan can afford to do it once, go to court several times over one, but he can't afford to go to court over all of those, and Ryan is not going to take away his mode of making a living. Ryan was trying to go back to a hardy har state. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to do anything with that unless he took it to court. And I don't think the boy wants to go to court, bless his heart. I think he's just blowing smoke and trying to do an epic troll. But I just think that this has gone too far. Like, Heavy Duty's been calling to physically put hands on him for days now. And I'm like, can you not come up with a better way to resolve this? That's why I thought it had to be a punk, a work together troll both subgroups, Apparently not. Apparently, and I don't think Ryan understands. I don't know. The animus I saw in that man's face scares me. And I don't think Ryan has saw that. Because he deals with people that do this all the time. So I don't, and I see a lot of people that do this crap all the time. But that face and that body language, it did not register well with me. I'm wondering if it's clicking over to a very unhealthy place and creating some other unhealthy ramifications. I'm concerned. Yeah, Church is just trolling. He trolls. I mean, he's been trolled since he was a teenager, so he's the king of trolls. He doesn't take it too seriously because he knows at the end of the day, it's the internet. It's not like the real place, It's not where life truly matters. Life truly matters over here in the real world. But I'm just like, what's going on? Why are you so super hyper aggressive and calling for physical harm and driving your subs to do absolute crazy crap this week and bringing up a lot of misinformation and half-truths and lies and trying to try to equate people's names with child abuse and the worst kind of child abuse and I thought, surely this is just probably a joke that I'm going to look like a complete dumb butt for falling into and being worried about. But then when I saw his face a few minutes ago, no, something's wrong. You forgot to spray the pan so no donut picks. That's okay. They eat the same. I think he needs to back away and take a cool down. Like, I left a very compassionate and appealing comment on his page to say, dude, enough. We're worried. It's concerning us. This is not a healthy banter. This is not a tit for tat. This is turning into something else, and we see it. Please be aware that we see it and take some time. And I can only imagine how I'm going to be attacked by his subgroup for that, but I don't even care. I don't even care. You know, I'm just going to completely ignore the people that are adopting that energy and just I'm going to be more concerned about the person that I saw that looked like they were absolutely going to spiral. That worries me to death. We don't have many people that stand up for our demographic. And we certainly don't need to be tearing apart the few that do, and we certainly don't need to lose the ones that do have a following. We need to say, hey, stay in your lane, do your thing. It helps, but let's not get here over again. But y'all, as of an hour ago, I went from I'm irritated with these boys. Do they not understand the art of trolling, punking? Do they not understand the troll yet useless nature of the troll with the trademark issue? I mean, yeah, it can cause grief if you pursue it in court. I don't think Upchurch had any intentions of pursuing it in court. But it's like, can anybody draw a line? Does anybody know how to stop this crap? I mean, about an hour ago, it went from, okay, this is tacky, they're in it to win it, but about an hour ago, it went to, no, that's scary. So, I don't know why. He says in that one video, and I cut it and put it in my video, where it's like me trying to be a rapper. So he obviously thought about being a rapper, because it's in a lot of his old videos referencing rap and things that you think he would never end up doing. But obviously it was on his mind because it was like his go-to thing. And then to get flown out and get to spend an all-expenses paid weekend with Upchurch and the boys, and be brought into the circle, and brought into the friendship, and for Upchurch to say, hey, I'll even talk to Stone Baby Sounds and get you a deal if you want to try this, so you don't have to drop a whole lot of money. You can drop a mediocre amount of money and try it. That's great. That's so nice. How did we go from that to absolutely loathing each other? How did we go from somebody helping me to me wanting to physically put my hands on them and harm them? That was a big leap for me, but I thought, surely it's a punk. Surely they're punking us. What I saw an hour ago was a man on the precipice of losing it, not even knowing the damage he's doing to himself. That scared the crap out of me. I've seen those faces before. It's not a happy precursor for anything. So I'm just concerned. So I thought, well, I'll hop on here, and if they need help, they just need to ask for help. I'll do anything I can to help locate resources in an area. If you're struggling with something and it's having an impact on your daily existence, please ask someone you trust for help. Look up numbers in your area. If you can't find these things, please reach out to me or someone else so that we can help you locate resources. I just don't like what I saw. And I've been trying to y'all know I've been trying to make peace with this whole situation all week. And I've seen some funny stuff, and I've seen some really questionable stuff, and then I've seen some stuff I'm just not okay with. But it seems like it's just gotten worse as the days have gone by. And an hour ago, I was just like, no, that's not a face I want to see on anyone. I've seen that face on people that did very bad things. Best news you've heard is that ACAL said he's staying out of it. Okay, if ACAL's saying he's staying out of it, then that tells me I'm probably picking on something that is a very valid concern. Because ACAL, spent some time in prison. He's seen a lot of the same faces I've seen. So if he says he's staying out of it, then that tells me he's concerned probably for the same reason I'm concerned. Y'all do not put any more energy in this. And I'm not even going to respond to people that try to hellaciously pick me apart for being concerned or try to call me stupid they really adopted his mode of communicating this week. They're absolutely abrasive. I'm just, I don't know what's going on, but I have now eliminated that it is not a punk, it is not a troll, it is not a scripted troll to get both subgroups. It is not a distraction. Someone's struggling. Someone's struggling with something and is distracting themselves from the core issue by taking other stuff out on other people, I believe. Yeah, but this just for me, this went over, this took a very serious turn just all of a sudden. Not okay with it. So anyone that wants to know my thought progression on this, go watch my last several videos. Here I sit at 3 o'clock in the morning, worried about a grown-ass man that lives 3 states away, that I've never met, but I fear something's going on. Horrible. In his life or in his head or something. And I'm concerned. It takes tough skin to be on the internet. It takes tough skin to put your face and your ideas and your personality out there because people are so uncaring and mean. And I handle it pretty well because, for a decade I got cussed out by everybody and I was everybody's most horrible nightmare because I supervised them and I was the watchdog, I was the horrible person, I was the popo. I was the person that ruined everybody's life. So I got really used to it. So, when people, try to throw that at me, I'm like, okay. Like that girl that came here this afternoon and wanted to be abrasive and mad and ended up liking our community and subbing and actually talking with me for a minute after I did my live. Normally, if you are consistent and show people you have good intentions, they'll come around. But I have been working at trying to understand this. Find the humor where I can, because I thought that's what they meant it to be, and then try to understand some of the responses that did not compute. Now I know why they did not compute. I think we've had 2 very different scenarios going on this week in 2 very different worlds. We've had one that just thought this was a normal ego punk. I'm bored, so I'm going to attack somebody, and it's going to be you. And that person's used to being attacked, so I just rolled with it. And on the other, I think we've got some kind of strain or some kind of overwhelming something happened that triggered the need to offload some behavior, and it was really unattractive. It was really adjacent to anything we thought we'd see from this man, so it kind of made us all really confused. I think something's really wrong and going on, and I'm concerned. And he would probably get tickled by that and do that ha 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 laugh at me. But no, dude, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. No wonder I can't figure out what was going on. I was way off. I was still thinking it was in the realm of a joke. It's not. I don't believe it is. So try to be kind to people. and especially people that have been sucked up into this. Okay, see, I don't keep up with Deerdorf or ACAL or any of them, so I don't know what's been going on. Oh, I mean, Adam's very loyal, but if he's saying he's going to stay away from the main action, that tells me we probably have identified the same concern. Well, I mean, that's why it was such a troll. You can't really own a trademark. I mean, you can try to go to court to own the use to place it on things, but like you can't own what it means and the emotion it brings up. So that's why I thought it was such a great troll. I mean, I just thought it was great. I thought that's hilarious. It's useless, but it's, it seems, at face value, it seems horrible, but once you look into it, it's really useless because you'd have to go and petition common law and go to federal court. So, I mean, it's really useless. It's hilarious. And it shows that some business acumen is probably not there if these things are lapsing or not even being pursued or not being pursued effectively. And so it was a great troll, but I'm like, man, something else is going on in this man's world because he's not seeing the humor in anything. And the vile stuff he's been spewing this week is really just like taking me by surprise. I mean, really, like I would be calling in a behavioral team to talk about this if I was at work. I'd be like, we need to meet and discuss this. I'm seeing red flags. So I'm just really concerned because I don't want to see anybody get hurt over stupidity. And I don't want to see anybody hurt over stupidity or get hurt over stupidity. But I also don't want to see somebody spiral out of control because they're reading all this wrong or something has happened to where it's not hitting them as the joke it was meant to be. I hope it calms down. I mean, this is just stupid. It's just stupid. It's stupid. I mean, I can play these little trolls and little trademark games and ha 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 ha, but when you look at the camera and you can see the deadpan look in those eyes when he's saying, I want to get you in a ring. And it's like, I mean, he's fixated on that. Like, he's fixated on that. Like, the only thing that will satiate whatever's going on is harmful physical contact. And the last video chilled me to my core. And so I'm just concerned something's wrong. You have a possibly inflammatory question since we're talking about behavior. Okay. I mean, I'm not I'll say something's wrong, but he may be going through something that has shifted his perception into a very unhealthy place. And so can we help? Obviously we've hindered, now can we help? The weirdness has made me feel uncomfortable in relations. It's possession. No, man, I'm picking up on that too. No, yeah, you're picking up what he's putting down. Yeah, there is like an ownership vibe going on there. Very much. No, I get that. That's one of the big things that is really a red flag to me. Is that I own you and this will end when I decide I've been satiated. That's terrifying. It's terrifying. No, you're not being offensive. No. You're fine. I've picked up on that as well. That's fine. Oh yeah, Bobby's a businessman. Bobby's got it all under control. My dog, yeah. I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, those things pop to mind. I'm not saying that's what it is, but those things, those concerns pop to mind, that something has triggered the advancement of something very horrible. It, you know, it potentially could, you know, and I'm not practicing. All of this is just me venting and being concerned and trying to figure out what the crap's going on, because I am super terrified that we're overlooking something, we're overlooking someone in pain, they're not asking for help, and I'm concerned that this is not going to end well. And so I'm just like venting and trying to get my frustrations and concerns out. But yeah, that's definitely crossed my mind. Yeah. Yeah, you learn a lot about body language and nonverbal communication. You learn a lot about eyes, eye set, dilation, pupil dilation, which way they look, what it means when they look that way, when they're trying to subconsciously enact the vagus nerve to self-soothe, calm down. You learn all these things when you go through the amount of training I went through, and it's just, I don't know, something about that video really scared me. It really scared me. Yeah, like I've been trying to send up good vibes for people too, and been like, you know, if we've overlooked something, if he's struggling, let's create an, you know, let's create an outreach to people that just are concerned about his well-being, because, you know, I can remember the joke and tear stuff apart and try to look into it and try to understand why these things, but now that I know that I'm seeing stuff that concerns me in this way, I'm like, whoa, now it's time to say, hey, okay, whatever was going on, I'm picking up a different vibe now, so I need to shift into health mode. If you're hurting, if you're struggling, anyone that sees the video, please reach out. Please reach out. Leave a comment. Send me an email at watersworkload@gmail.com. Reach out. Because you have people here that, regardless of what's going on or whose side you think they're on, they will set everything to the side to help with whatever's wrong at the moment, to help calm down whatever is overwhelming you, to help locate resources and just make sure that you don't feel alone. Because I'm terrified by what I saw. And I don't keep up on all the other platforms because I'm old and I'm lazy, but I just don't, because I'm not on them very much, so I don't get the whole story, so I'm glad that you all do. Oh yeah, I'm not, I know this sounds bad, I'm not concerned about Ryan. That sounds really bad, but Ryan has done this since he was a teenager, and he's very, very well versed in this world of people attacking him. He's gotten very good coping skills, and he's good. But what I saw out of Heavy Duty Country's face an hour ago in his video terrified me, and I'm concerned that something has happened in his world that we don't know, and that is triggering some of the behavior we've seen this week that is very much not normal for him, for what we see on here. And because I don't keep up with him everywhere else, I thought maybe it's just me being over aware because of all my training and stuff. But now I'm concerned. Oh yeah, like I have other famous friends, like Peter Freestone, the guy that was Freddie Mercury's personal assistant for the last 12 years of his life. He took care of him until Freddie died. We're really good friends. I met him in 2016. We became super fast friends, and we keep in touch. We call. If I'm in the hospital or sick, he will call. He will video call to make all the nurses die of amazement that I have a friend in Prague that calls to check on me, or he'll call the house if I'm home to call and check on me. We keep in touch. He's actually having back surgery. He just had it yesterday, so if everybody could toss up good prayers for him, because he was terrified about getting home and getting situated after the surgery. So I probably won't hear from him until at least Tuesday, because I told him not to, like, I was like, you worry about you first, and when you catch your breath and get to a place where you feel good and you want to reach out, let me know you're okay, but take care of you first. And I know that I've seen some of the messages he gets and some of the interactions that he has, and it's atrocious, some of the behavior that people think is appropriate. Um, but he's very well versed at handling it. But I've seen his face make some concerned gestures toward me when he's like had people come up and like swamp him, and he'll look at me like we would get to see each other about 3 to 4 days out of the year when we would get to see each other. He'd fly in, he'd go to the North American Queen Convention, I would get to see him, and we would always try to sneak away and have an early breakfast before things got going, or we'd sneak away and have a late dinner. And I've seen him sitting at his table, and I will be over sitting at mine, and people will swarm him, and he will look at me with like this, like I can't get out of this bubble of people, I can't get away from him, or I can see in his face that he needs to go to the restroom, and he's trying to, passively get away, and they won't let him. And me, and I'm like a bull in a china shop. I just bunch up and say, I seen you across the room, and I swear I thought, he's been sitting here for 4 hours. I know you've not stretched your legs. Hey, you know something? Hey guys, hi. Hey, do we need to take a picture? Does anybody want a picture right now? Everybody's good. Okay, you take a bathroom break, and you guys just chill out here. He'll be back in a few minutes. He needs to walk. And come on, let's go take a bathroom break. I know you've been sitting here way too long. Let's walk them legs. And I just take him away. I'm kind and courteous. And I return him later, but I get him away. And he'd be like, thank you. I didn't know who else to send the SOS to. And I was like, I got it, loud and clear. But people just are like, they think they own him. And they think he's on the clock. And they think he should take 50,000 pictures and lean in, smile, be closer, touch my cheek, give me a kiss. And I'm like, would you ask a stranger for these things? So we bonded very quickly, and we keep in touch, and I adore him. He's somebody that kind of changed my world, and he says the same thing about me, but I know he's just picking on me. I make him quilts, and I send him quilts, and he's freaking tall, so it's hard to make a quilt big enough to cover him, because he's freaking tall. But he's well versed in it too, but even he struggles sometimes. And so I kind of know the little world that they are forced to live in, and they lose many privileges because of what they do. And it's a struggle sometimes, and it can be a trial. And, so that's kind of why I felt really bad when I saw Ryan in distress a couple years ago. It broke my little mama heart. He looks, behaves, and profiles just like my son. So it really did break my mama heart because it felt like that was my child doing it, because they're so similar. It's scary, they're so similar. And so that's when I reached out. And lo and behold, oddly enough, Ryan saw my video. And we have kept a YouTube commentary. And we've actually spoken a couple of times. But we've kept a YouTube commentary going, ever since that time. And he's a very capable young man. He's very capable. But he has a wicked, great sense of humor, and that's almost unnecessary in this game. But y'all, I'm telling you that I was freaking out. Like I got jarred internally when I saw his face. It scared me. I'm not lying. I am concerned. Like I don't want to go to bed because I'm afraid I'll wake up to horrible news or another spat. It's just like it bothers me. It bothers me. Ryan is at the point in his life where if he wants to proceed with the normal things such as having a family, having a normal couple or married life, having a family, having a consistent life that doesn't feel like he's trapped because of the amount of security he needs or something like that. He's at that where he's got to make some very big decisions. And that's why I think his emphasis now is on the record label. Because he's trying to shift the limelight to the people that he's going to sign rather than himself, so that he can kind of take a step back and kind of do the normal life for a while and let everybody else take the limelight. And so I see him trying to find these ways to create balance, and I'm very proud of him. But he also has the personality where he's always going to crave the limelight a little bit. So he's trying to find balance, and I'm proud of him. I think he's doing really good, especially for getting interjected into this as young as he was and as rapidly as he was. Like, I don't think I could have done it that well. I think he did far better than I could have done. But it's a strain because we think that, I'm poor as a church mouse and can't do the things I want to do because of those limitations. And we think, well, it would be great to be rich and not have any limitations. But if you're rich and you've got that money through fame, then you have limitations. They're just other limitations. You have limitations. Well, I would like to take my family for a hike, but I can't go to a public park because it's dangerous. It's just a swap. They have limitations that are just came from a different perspective. And because I know Peter, I call him Phoebe, because Freddie called him Phoebe, and that's my Phoebe bird to commemorate our friendship. And I know that one of his favorite things is to just walk. He just likes to walk and kind of get lost in a daily walk and get lost in the trees and the birds and nature. And he's like, I can't just go and walk. I have to be careful where I just go and walk. He's like, and I can't get lost in the trees and the birds. And it's like I have to constantly be on the lookout. It's getting better as he gets older and the fan base gets younger because they don't dig into and know like the older people that were with Freddie, so it's getting a little bit better for him. But there's still a lot of old crazy people that know who he is that have, they just don't believe in boundaries and personal bubbles. And so I've seen him suffer a lot. I've seen him go all day for like 14 hours and barely eat. I've had to like drag him away and like shove him in a coat closet to eat because nobody would let him go. And so it's like, I see the struggle, and I see that they mourn certain things the same way that we poor people mourn the inability to do certain things. So, well, I'm not crying over celebrities. I'm crying over people that are obviously struggling. And I think I'm able to understand their perspective because I've had friends that were famous, and so I understand some of the things they struggle with. And I know that life is not easy for them like we think it is. They still have struggles, and they still have things that go wrong, and they still have trials and tribulations that sometimes can seem overwhelming. And when I see, and working with people, working in as a parole officer, you deal with a lot of mental health issues. And then as a counselor, I dealt with a lot of mental health issues. And so you start to see certain behaviors that are almost precursors for really horrible events. And so while I was like totally thinking we were all being punked or trolled all week and trying to make sense of this, because that's who I am, I try to make sense of things. What I saw at about 2 a.m. from a video that was posted terrified me. And I'm sure you wouldn't understand if you've not lived my life and had my experiences, but I supervised murderers. I supervised people that had very prominent mental health issues. I counseled families and people that struggled with mental health, that acted out and ended up on probation or on parole because of the behaviors that they allowed that to drive them toward. So it's not that I'm feeling bad for celebrities. I would feel bad for anyone that I saw that face on. I don't think Heavy Duty Country is really a celebrity. To be quite honest, I don't think he's a celebrity. But he is a human being, and I would legit be concerned for anyone that I saw that look on their face. Because I'm trained to monitor, respond, and look for that. He's a content creator, but I mean, he's not like a celebrity. He's not like, I'm a content creator. My God, I'm not a celebrity. So I don't think just because you're on this platform means you're a celebrity. I don't think he's like a celebrity. But an hour and a half ago, he was definitely somebody that had a struggle written all over his face, and it went straight to my heart. and concerned me greatly. And if this had been just somebody like me on here that wasn't famous and had 2 videos on here, and I caught the last of the live where they looked like they were struggling, I'd be on here doing the same thing. I don't like to see people struggle, especially if I think I can offer a lifeline or help. I don't know of anybody that likes to see people struggle. I would hate to think that somebody would have seen the face I saw an hour and a half ago and go, oh, good for you, because that would be completely not okay. So, you know, and for me, it's weird for me to see people go, why do you care? Because for me, I look at people and go, how can you not? That's a person. It's a person that's loved by somebody, that will be missed by somebody, that somebody counts on, that makes somebody's life better. How do you not care for people that are struggling, that look like they're going through some shit? It hits me hard. It hits me hard. I mean, Ryan's been picked on consistently since he was a teenager, so I think he's just kind of used to it. He handles it pretty well. He's kind of made peace with it and has learned how to process it. But I mean, he catches a lot of crap too. He catches a lot of crap that a lot of people don't see. But I don't know, something in the presentation and the face that Dan put toward the screen at 2 a.m. freaked me the crap out. Freaked me the crap out. Completely sent me back to my days when I were handling some people that were going through some shit, man. And I don't want anybody to feel like that. I don't want anybody to feel forced into a behavior because they're struggling. And he may be perfectly fine. He may have been acting and doing these. I don't think it was acting, but it could have been. All I know is it made me feel that something was wrong, and that somebody needed to come on here and offer a lifeline or offer concern, or say, hey y'all, let's chill this out. I have a feeling that something's not what it needs to be here, and we need to all be careful. No, honey, they're just people. They're just people. People want to expect them to be different, and they want to put them on, a higher shelf. I had a friend that I'd known for a long, long time, and then her husband created a software program for taxes, and a lot of businesses bought the software program. He sold his company after 14 years and made like $12 million. They bought a summer home in France. And you would not believe the way people began to treat her when they knew that she had money. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And so they had spent most of their entire life normally employed like the rest of us, in paycheck to paycheck, or not a lot of money. And then when they made that big change, and they were, because he was taxes and a big nerd, he handled his money very efficiently, so they were invested and secure and everything. People changed the way they treated. The way they treated her became horrible. And then she almost began to resent people that wanted to be her friend because she automatically thought it was the money. And it made her very bitter. As a matter of fact, we're no longer friends because she just became very bitter. And everything that we had to discuss, it was about the money. And I was like, I'm not bringing this up because you have money. I'm bringing this up because we're friends and we talk about this. Or would you talk about it with someone that doesn't have money? Would you stop talking about money? I don't care that you have money. I'm just trying to talk to my friend. Everything was about money. And her world became so toxic, and she just became toxic right along with it. And I was like, I know people treat you differently, but that doesn't mean you need to treat people differently. You still need to have boundaries. You still, need to find and have a good support system and be able to trust people. You shouldn't You shouldn't look at people and think they're coming at you with their hand out. Because they're not. But you're just as fearful of your money as they are. It's changed you too, and she couldn't see that. And you know, her daughter still checks in and lets me know she's doing okay and stuff. But it ruined the money. Ruined them. It ruined them. It ruined their happiness. It ruined them. I mean, you thought it would provided so much more, and it literally stripped their life back to such an unenjoyable prison cell. It was amazing. Like, I was dumbfounded. And I was trying to be supportive, but every time I'd be, try to be supportive, well, you just call me because I'm going to leave you money. And I told her, I was like, I don't want your money. If you want me to fly to you, to air fluff every dollar bill and put it in the lining of your casket so it goes with you, I will do that. I don't want your money. And it got to where everything was financially motivated. I just couldn't take it anymore. I thought, I live on nothing. I have nothing. But I make ends meet and I'm happy. I'm a simple person. I like a simple life. And I just could not take constantly having her fixated on money and thinking I was fixated on money, because then everybody was fixated on money. And I was like, stop. And it changes a lot. You'd be amazed at the problems that money will create. It's not a very big happy thing. It's not. It's more of a, oh crap, now I've got to handle this, and if I don't handle it appropriately, I'm going to think I screwed my whole life up, and I've got to be super careful, and it just creates a lot of tension. And if you don't trust the team that you put together to take care of your money, you will constantly drive yourself nuts. I like Upchurch because lyrically he can paint a picture, and he represents himself so great in his lyrics. Like, he doesn't put on airs. He's just country boy. But the beauty that he, and the absolute amazing service that he does to reflecting his area in his songs and in his music, I find that refreshing. I'm a huge nerd. I love to read. I love the written word. I love expressions. I love different forms of the written word that are meant to bring emotional responses. I'm a huge nerd. And so when I listen to music that can do that, so I'm a huge Freddie Mercury fan, huge Queen fan, Chris Cornell. I'm a huge lyrically driven person. And so that's why I gravitated toward church. Oh yeah, when you get burned repetitively, it does hurt you. Like, he's gotten a terribly tough hide on him, and he's starting to have a short fuse in response to certain behaviors, which is normal. He's getting older, so his ability to deal with absolute crap is non-existent in some places. Yeah. There are special financial groups that take care of people's money, and if that's why you've got to trust whoever you put in control of your money, so that you don't allow it to overtake you. But the sad thing is that even though my friend and her family had invested well and were taken care of, she could not drop the issue, and it was just like, and I flew out to visit her once, and then she flew in and stayed with me for a week, and there was, and she went from her big gated community to my little tiny little cabin home, and she was happy as a pig in slop. We had a great week. We visited. We had a really great friendship. But when COVID and all the financial stuff hit and things became tense, her tension and her focus on the money and the tension, and it just went up to here. And I had 2 conversations with her inside of a week where she had just attacked me. She was upset about things she was hearing on the news and overwhelmed, and she would just unload on me, just double barrel me, blow me away. And I'd be like, you waited all day for me to call so you could scream at me? Well, I'm just so upset. And I was like, I understand. What I don't understand is why you always aiming at me. When you have contact with other people that you could talk about this with, so that you don't always bring it to me, because you're constantly bringing it to me, and I feel like you save it for me because you enjoy yelling at me. I said, that's a very bad way to feel. We had a very good friendship. We invested a whole lot of time and energy into each other. We had a huge age gap, but we made it work. We felt like sisters. And she just allowed things to get to such an unhealthy level, it almost drove her nutty. And when the attacks got so personal, I said, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. And she let it slip. She was like, I didn't think you would ever walk away from me. And I was like, I can't live in this unhappy place where you justify treating people that you love like crap. And I'm not going to be treated like crap. And I'm here to tell you that this is not healthy, and I don't want to be part of it anymore. And she was like, you'll be back. You'll need something, and you'll be back. No. The thing is the only thing I needed was my friend. I lost her a long time ago. Yeah, money does not make problems go away. Happiness is not the absence of problems. You all know that, right? Happiness is how you handle the problems effectively and keep life moving. And that's a very important concept that people struggle with. Happiness is not the absence of problems. Happiness is maintaining your life in sanity, enjoying what you're blessed with, even when you have problems. That's what happiness is. And a lot of people get that mixed up. Happiness does not come from a dollar bill. It doesn't come from a bank account. It comes from within you and how you navigate the world and the problems, the things that you see as problems and the things you don't see as problems, and how you allow them to affect your well-being in your world. Yeah, everybody could use help. A lot of people are scared, they're too prideful, or too scared to ask for it. Or they think there's a stigma, just like you thought there was a stigma for me caring for a celebrity a minute ago. They think there's a stigma to it, or they think there's a catch or an angle. They don't believe that people are truly compassionate and truly concerned. They think there's an angle to it. We've created a lot of these, questions that people, that are valid because people do treat each other like that. Isn't it sad, though, that the people that just need help, rather than asking for help, they're concerned about the 20,000 different ways that somebody could turn it on them. And you would think that people that see that and witness that would then turn around and be super compassionate and super kind and be super moved when they see somebody hurting. But the sad thing is that we become so numb, especially when we're surrounded by a lot of people, or we're dealing with a lot of people, or we don't see people, we see avatars, or and we don't attach a person to that. We just attach a thing. And we get really, really callous and really hateful and really mean. And we forget that we're dealing with a person at the other end of the line, on the other side of the screen. So it's very important that we remember that, and I'm guilty of that too. I can get super callous and super hateful sometimes, and I have to go, wait. There's a time to be direct and a time to not, add fluff, and then there's a time where you need to be a little bit more gentle, a little bit more understanding. And I try to take every day and every interaction on an individual basis. And there are days that I know I'm not conducive to social media, and I don't need to be online, and I don't go online. But mostly when I get on here, I try to be positive, or I try to understand, or I'm trying to make sense of, or I'm following something that I don't understand that's confusing me. So, but I try to show you all everything. I don't come on here and try to be scripted and prepared and make everything look perfect. I want you to see I'm going through things, I'm working through things, I'm struggling through things. So many people just want to present a perfect side of themselves, to feel like they have a perfect side, and that this little window they can control, so they try to make it perfect. I would rather be authentic and show you all what's going on in real time and what I'm concerned about. And that's why I immediately popped on when I saw that. So, well, yeah, and when we set out to hurt other people, normally we hurt ourselves first, and I am concerned, very concerned. I'm very tired too, but I'm super concerned. I'm hoping maybe if I go to bed, I'll be able to sleep here in a few minutes. But, yeah, I don't play. If I see something that really concerns me, and like if I was thinking this was like a ha ha gotcha moment, and I'm like, okay, I think this is a ha ha gotcha. I think we're okay if we want to talk about this. And then if I see something that tells me no, something just changed, then I'll come on here and be like, something just changed. I don't get it, but I'm going to tell you something just changed, and I'm concerned. And I'm trying to learn how to reach out and process and try to be useful. It's very difficult on this platform. This platform is not user friendly, contact friendly. But if I could say anything, I would say a line was crossed somewhere from the physical representation I saw in that man's face. Please be careful where you put your energy the next 24, 48 hours, because I'm afraid someone is struggling. I don't want to make it worse. So I know that right now he's got all of his subs amped up in an attack mode. Think of it as water off a duck's back and just let it fall away. And here in a couple of days when things simmer down, if you got to have a beef, you can have a beef. But right now I think we just need to chill, open our eyes, and be like, I'm watching. I'm just trying to not put any negative energy back in there. Well, and I get it that I get irritated when people say misdirected or yep, right, But I will say that sometimes when we're in a truly angry state, and we have that additional extra energy that we don't understand ourselves, we do tend to put it in the worst places. Like, there was always the thing that's like, oh, you always hurt the one you love, so if somebody hurts you, they love you. No, bullcrap. You hurt the person you do not think is strong enough to leave. You hurt the person that you think is so weak that they have to stay. That's who you hurt. So when you start picking on people, and you have those tight bonds in your families and in your relationships, you don't hurt the one you love. You hurt the one that you think is too weak to leave. And that's true. You attack the person you think that will have to take it no matter what. And that's just kind of a norm across the board. When we get to that level of anger, we don't always register where we put it. That's normally where it gets put. So, but like on the internet, and there's all these new rules and these new interactions, and so we don't always know why energy is placed in certain places and how it ends up being focused on, because this is a whole new world, a whole new interactive, galaxy, and we don't understand that quite yet. To be quite honest, we were just starting to get a good grasp on psychology because we had to get away from Freud and all the screw ups that he made in the area. But we were just starting to get a good handle on psychology and how it could benefit us and how we could start mapping areas of the brain and the patterns in which they engage to understand certain predilections for certain behaviors. And then the internet popped up, and boom, it's a whole different social skill level. It's a whole different interaction format. So we're all still learning. It's difficult to understand. We're all still learning. Yeah, I'm still trying to understand how we signed the production contract with them, how Ryan got into that. And if Stone said, well, you need to talk to Ryan, he should have said, I didn't sign a contract, Ryan, I signed a contract with you. Because there was no reason for Ryan to be brought into that. That kind of blows my mind too. But again, what if we're completely overlooking something that's going on and he's on a tangent for some reason. There's so many things that could be going wrong, and that just concerns me. I was not as concerned earlier today because I really thought this was like a massive prank troll. We just were not in on it. That's part, at least some of it had been scripted and maybe had gone too far, but it would settle down. But after what I saw a couple hours ago, no, there's something going on, and it terrified. The look I saw terrified me. And y'all, I don't scare easy. I don't, because of everything I've had to deal with in life and the people I supervised and things. His look scared me. Well, things change so quickly, especially when we interact over these things, that I think we're all still learning. We're all still new in the game, and I don't think we understand how this format has changed how we communicate and how we interact, and the empathy sympathy levels, and I think it changes all that. But I can't explain how. I think there needs to be a lot more studies done. But I think it changes our interaction almost to where we're less human. We use less of those skills that make us human. Because we're supposed to be the compassionate, empathetic, wise animal. But this format changes the way that we interact, and it almost makes us less human. We use less of our humanistic qualities to interact. We become more monotone, less graceful, and much more harsh. There's still so much they have to learn about how we communicate over this format. It's, and some people it really messes up, and some people do really well with it, and we're all still learning. Yeah, like I'm on the internet probably more than I need to be, because since I became disabled and my legs do not work very well, which is why I'm always seated, a lot of my socialization that goes through here. So even a lot of my friends, I will FaceTime call, or they will watch my videos and interact. If you see me start talking to somebody by name in the comments, it's probably somebody that lives very close or somebody that I've known since kindergarten. But I don't get out of my house a lot because of my health right now. I do have a terminal diagnosis. It's one of those, gonna take a long time to kill you terminal diagnosis. So it's like, yay, I picked the slowest terminal diagnosis ever. It's like, you know, um, but, I do want to use the time I have left to do positive things in the world and to make a difference and to meet as many people as possible. And luckily, the internet allows me to do that. I'm extremely social, and I spent my time working 60, 78 hours a week, and I'm used to interacting and helping people. So to be detached from people when I was going through all my surgeries and getting established at home, it was very difficult for me because I am so social. So social. So this has helped me kind of find the happy medium. So it really helps me. But I also know that it can be very unhealthy at times, so I have to be careful. And there will be times when I have to put my health first, and you'll miss me for 3, 4, 5 days or more. And it's because I'm struggling with something that I know I need to focus on me, latch onto the real world, do the things that make me, like if I feel really bad, my husband, when he's home, I want to be right next to him. And because when he's at work, I miss him. And so if I'm feeling bad when he is home, I'm normally stuck to him because that makes me feel better. So if I am having an unhealthy few days, you will not see me because I won't be here, because this is not where my healing energy comes from. My healing energy comes from the real world and the real people that I can touch and love and receive comfort from. So I will completely detach from here and go back to the real world. So I try to make appropriate decisions. But this has been great for me, who was so used to interacting with so many people and helping, and then just being ripped away from it. This has helped me a lot. Yeah, I see people I want to see succeed, like Ron. I'm really invested in him because I see the talent and the skill, and I see what he can do in 30 more years, and I'm like, I want to see this young man do everything he's capable of because he has so much inside of him that is yet to blossom and come out. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm at the time in life where I'm dealing with more, my mortality and health issues constantly. And so I see a young person with promise and intensity and passion, and I'm like, heck yeah, do your thing, change the world. And so I get invested too. I get really, and I don't think it's a bad thing. And, as long as you realize that you're getting invested and you monitor yourself, um, like I'm concerned about heavy duty, but, and I wanted to do a quick video, but I'm staying here because I'm receiving really good feedback and dialogue from you all. And, if I was just doing a reach out to a heavy duty, I would already have done that and been in bed an hour ago. But I enjoy the feedback. I enjoy the people I meet, and I don't mind being invested. Yeah, but I do keep a close eye on it. I've been super disappointed in him at times too. I'm not always happy with everything he does. There have been times I've come on here and been like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? When he started dating Nicole Arbor, I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then I told him, stop. What you need in life is salt and vinegar chips. I don't know why you keep grabbing the Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Because all they do is cause you harm. They hurt you. And we finally actually was able to have a talk. And I was like, dude, when you come home to the person that you share your life with, you need to come home to someone who shares your simplicity, who understands how you recharge, who understands the lifestyle that you gravitate to recharge your inner self. You need a country girl. You need someone that has the same foundation, that enjoys the same things. Being a river rat, fishing, getting dirty. You need that. That's your common bond. You are not going to ever recharge your battery if you're with somebody that's constantly needing the limelight, because you don't constantly need the limelight. You detach, go home, and recharge. And you need somebody that can detach and respect and understand the things that recharge you. And he wasn't getting that from those women. And so I'm tickled to see him with Bethany and see that I was right. And that I was dead on. And I think he's doing really well. I think they have a really good bond with each other. I think they understand each other. So I was happy to see that. But I get frustrated with him too when he does certain things. I'm like, did you do that, And I'm mommying the boy to death. And if the longer you stay with me on this channel, you wonder, I'm mommying the boy to death. I'm sure that when he is stuck to dealing with me, he's like, oh my God. It's like, I have a mom. Where did I pick up this other one? But, he's very similar to my son. So it puts me in the same mama mode when I deal with him. So, but I see so much potential. And I don't see a lot of animosity and stuff. Like, he can throw a joke and troll and act vicious, but he's got a very good little heart. And he very rarely goes full absolute turd on people. And so that makes me happy. And the few times I have seen him go absolute turd, he needed to. But normally, he's very consistent. I know how he's going to react. He's consistent. And I like consistency. But I just see so much promise and potential and talent. And I see some things that he needs to work on. And, I may make a video about it. And he normally responds and tells me if it helped or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I've had lives where he's jumped in and been in the lives with us, and he's sweet. I pick on him every chance I get. I don't really I don't really see him as like, oh, he's a celebrity and I hope he does well. I see him as he's a young man in Tennessee, and I want to see him conquer every goal he has. I don't see him as, oh my God, it's a celebrity in my chat. I see him as, this is a young man with so much potential, and he's my Tennessee boy, and I want to see him do well, and good to see you. But I treat him like I would anyone else. So, like, I don't freak out when I'm like, hey, how you doing? You had a good day? I don't treat him like he's freaking royalty or something, because he's just a person. Like, everybody's like, oh, he's famous. Well, yeah, but you know something? They eat shit and piss just like the rest of us. So, don't know how fame changes people, but certainly not that regard. And so I don't know. They have the same problems, just on a different scale. So I just don't get too flustered. But someone else that I've had the joy of kind of knowing, and I've never met him person to person, but I've dealt with him a lot, talked to him a lot, and his fiance is phenomenal. Like, when I tell you that I might like his fiance more than like him, I really do. I really do. I like his fiance more than like him. So I like him, I like his music, but then when I met his fiance, I was like, she's magic. This woman's amazing. I love her. And she's sweet. She's made me jewelry. I've made her first baby quilt, and now I'm working on her first big girl toddler quilt, and it is JJ Lawhorn. So if you don't know who JJ Lawhorn is, go listen to JJ Lawhorn. I've been listening to his music for years, since he was a little boy. He looks like a little boy in the videos that I remember when I first found him. And I love JJ. JJ is just a country boy, very sweet. He hunts, he fishes. We have a lot in common in that regard. He keeps up with some of the fur trapping stuff that I share on David's, on the Instagram and stuff. But his fiance Kelsey she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, but she's the sweetest person I have ever met in my entire, like, I could talk to her every day, all day. She's the sweetest person I have ever met. Not lying. She makes beautiful jewelry. If you ever get a chance to buy some of her handmade jewelry, it's beautiful. It will last for, it's tough. And I'm hard on jewelry. It's tough. It's beautiful. I tried to wear them the next time I do a live so I can show them to you. They're gorgeous. She made me some that say like lumberjack and my last name, because my husband used to be a lumberjack. And she's sweet. She's precious. They're great people. He makes great music. They have a beautiful little baby girl named Juniper Jane. I just think they're just, I wish we were neighbors, and we could make each other brownies, and we could sit at the fire pit and sing songs, because they'd be my kind of people to live next to. So I really think they're sweet, but I am probably more enamored with Kelsey than I am with JJ. But shh, don't tell JJ that, it would hurt his feelings. So it's like, I love Kelsey. She's just phenomenal. Yeah, Church is like the mischievous kid, yeah, that everybody's like, I don't want him to get in trouble, but I totally want him to try that, Yeah, we watched Ryan grow up. We do feel kind of a mama hen responsibility, so. But yeah, if you don't know who JJ Lawhorn is, go check him out. His music's really good. My favorite songs are Stompin' Ground and Good Old Boys Like Us. So. Oh, you were miserable? I grew up and played the fiddle. My dad had a radio show, so I played the fiddle and sang on the radio. My mother is the one that's got the voice, though. I just harmonized and played the fiddle. I played alto sax and band, but I can, like, chord everything you hand me, but the only thing I'm really well versed at was the alto sax and then the fiddle. Now, my nerve issues with my hands, and I have, like, a Parkinsonian tremor now. I can't play the fiddle anymore. I just don't have enough precision control with my fingers. But I grew up playing everything, singing on the radio. My dad was a preacher. He had a radio show. We had a family group, singing group, and we would go all over singing. I spent more nights in church than out of church when I was growing up, because we were constantly in revival, or we constantly brought in to sing at revivals, and so I was just always doing my homework on the back pew while somebody was preaching, and then I would hear this, and it would be Mom getting my attention to go up and sing. And then Sundays after church, we would have to we'd eat real quick and then go to the radio station and get prepared for Dad's Sunday show, and we sang on that. I grew up in the weirdest childhood possible, because other than that, my dad was a blacksmith, a farrier, and my mother was a school teacher. So, sweet people. My mother's just so passively sweet and precious, and my dad is, he was, before he got his life squared away and got to church, he's a pistol. But then he got squared away, and, he's, the last part of my life was better than the first, we'll just say that. But I had two very prominent, sweet parents that the community liked. And then I ended up going into corrections. Nobody knew I worked in corrections because I always worked in different counties. I never worked where I lived until the very end of my career when I subbed for a lady that had retired. Um, so nobody knew what I did. They just knew that I disappeared, and then I always knew who was in the paper, why they had mug shots, and what was going on. So I think a lot of them thought, what is she doing? um, and then I show up, with all these tattoos. I've got like 35 hours of ink on me, and people be like, what is wrong with her? And then finally, when I retired from corrections and just did the counseling, and people were like, oh, she was a parole officer in 5 counties for the state. Oh, I was like, that makes sense now, doesn't it? So, a lot of people didn't know what I did. They just knew I was so strange, considered, the childhood I had. And they see me with all this ink and a very hard demeanor and a hard edge to me. And they're like, what happened with her? And then they were like, oh, we get it now. We get it. I'm just glad that Ron has a good outlet for his craziness. Imagine if he didn't have an outlet for his craziness. Imagine what that would look like. We would be really concerned. Yeah. Is it Sally? I'm blind. I need new glasses. Yeah, I've been every emotion. Yeah, you go through every emotion with him. You feel life with him. He doesn't really hide anything. I really enjoy that. And sometimes I'm like, stop sharing so much. Like I've told him several times. And honestly, the less your fans know, probably the better you'll be. I've told him that several times. But then again, I'm also very happy when he shares stuff and we kind of get to go through it with him. Yeah, Swiss Army. That's a really great way to describe him as a Swiss Army knife. That's great. I swear. I'm supposed to interview him here in a few weeks when we can get it scheduled. I'm going to be doing an interview from the older Creek Squad fan perspective. It's just when we can ever get it, because I had the Rona, and my husband had the Rona, and we were sick for like 3 weeks, and now we just got to get it situated because he's super busy since the album came out. Um, I may, I may, if I can remember, I may tell him that I've heard the best description of him. He is a Swiss Army knife. That's great. I'm gonna try to remember to tell him that. That's great. He is a Swiss Army knife. Oh, that's funny. Oh, Daniel, we're just here chatting. I watched Heavy Duty's video at 2 and it freaked me out, so I came on here to vent and stuff. And I'm gonna have to go lay down because I'm finally getting to the point where I think I can rest. But that's a great description. Like I'm going to try to remember to tell him that, and I will try to remember your name to tell him that. Bighorn slice. I'm gonna try to remember to tell him that because that honestly is a really good description. I want you to get credit for that one. That's awesome. Oh, that's funny. That's really cute though. They have to cross stitch that somewhere on a pillow and send to him and laugh when he gets it. Oh Lord. I'm feeling better. I don't feel so concerned as I was earlier. I've vented and I know I've reached out and I've done everything I can do to make sure if someone sees it, they know how to reach out. So, feeling better. I think I'm going to try to get toward the bed. Yeah, he's definitely a funny guy. And he genuinely does enjoy what he does, and he cares about the people that that bond to him and his music, and so I think he'll enjoy that. I hope things work out. Like I hope I don't wake up to God and something horrible tomorrow, and I hope things calm down tomorrow, and I hope whatever is causing this chills out. Because since I saw that face and that look in his eye, I'm here to tell you, I wouldn't wish. I know that frame of mind. I've seen it. I've had to deal with people in it, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So whatever's going on, I hope it is alleviated and things are better tomorrow. No, I agree. Yeah, I think he's got some stuff that he needs to have a big discussion with his ego about. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no, like I wasn't allowed to get my license. My dad always told me when I was little, I'm not gonna let you get your license if you can't drive a stick. So, but it was never a problem because I grew up on a farm, so you automatically know how to change gears, you know what a clutch is, and you know. So, like, by the time I was 12, 13, I was driving front end loaders. And I was like cleaning stalls and moving manure piles, and, you know, and driving a front end loader, I could hook the hydraulics up on the tractor, I could fix the manure spreader. And so, you know, and then we had golf carts on the big farms that we worked, and most of them were, you know, manual. So you just grow up knowing these things. You don't think it's like a big deal until you meet like a grown man that doesn't know how to do that, and then you're like, really? You don't know how to do that? Really? So, and I was the same way with my kids. I'm like, you're learning how to drive a stick because I'm not having children that can't hop on anything and make her run, because that's the way I was raised. So, taught both my kids how to drive a stick when they were tiny. So, I know it's impossible to grow up on a farm and not know how to drive a stick. Everything is a manual. So, you know, but I really enjoyed like front end loaders. I really enjoyed, like, my husband rented a Bobcat several years ago, and I was in it doing donuts. He got very mad at me. I fixed the ground back. I just wanted to do donuts. Um, you know, because it makes those big track marks and spins the mud everywhere, and he got mad at me. But I fixed the ground back. I just wanted to do donuts. But the things that I love the most are like the backhoes, where you can stabilize yourself, sit and spin, and deal with one end at a time. I love those things. And the more you get with your hands and the knobs, and where you can make it the bucket one big extension and not do herky jerky movements, that's when you know you're getting good, when it's a smooth bucket. And I loved learning how to do those things and going into a barn. I worked in barns to get through college because I blacksmith's daughter. I was raised with horses, and every barn I worked at, I became the head stable boy. It cracked me up. I was the head stable boy. And so I would be above all these boys that would be mad that I was above them on the pay scale and, you know, being top dog. And they'd always be like, why are you in charge? Well, can you drive the farm truck? Can you fix the manure spreader? Can you use the front end loader? Can you use the front end loader to move the manure pile? I mean, how useful are you? And they'd be like, oh. So I made quite the name for myself working at horse barns in Middle Tennessee when I was in college. And I did a little bit of it after my daughter was born. And I would work on the weekends and stuff and help a man that trained Pasolfinos. And I worked with him for several years. He became extended family to me. And his name was Julio. And he was from Puerto Rico, and he was crazy. I adored him. And he would always try to put the phone in a bucket in the barn so that when it rang over the intercom system, I could grab it. But he would put it in his back pocket and forget. So he was working a horse in the round pen, and the phone started ringing. And I looked at the bucket, and it wasn't in the bucket, so I knew it was in his back pocket. And he came over there, and of course, you know, he's Puerto Rican. He was like, what do I paid you for? Paid you to answer the phone, answer the phone. And I was like, it's in your butt. I'm not answering your butt. And he's like, oh, and he, you know. But if y'all have ever heard that song, Sex Symbols by Ray Stevens, sex symbols, you know, where it starts out, and Ray's talking to Julio Iglesias. And he goes, hey, Julio, Julio. Well, I would totally piss Julio off and be like, hey, Julio, Julio. And then when he heard the song, he thought it was funny. And then we would play it out. And he'd be like, no, it's Julio. And so we would completely pick on each other. He taught me a lot of nasty cuss words in the Puerto Rican dialect. But, you know, I worked his barn was Hacienda Nueva Vida in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And I worked there for several years. And when he passed, his wife mailed me his rope, because he would work the horses on a rope on a pole in the old way, and I was always mesmerized by that. And when he passed away several years ago, I got a package in the mail from his wife, and she had sent me his rope. I still have it. It's hanging up in my daughter's bedroom. My daughter's a big horse person. She's in veterinary school, so she's beautiful. She's like a model. I know there's a skinny girl in me somewhere because I produced one. But she's beautiful, and she's in veterinary school, and she's a little It's just tough as a pine knot. So, but I used to train and ride. That's how I made all my money. And then when this neuromuscular disorder and all the surgeries and all the steroids and all the weight gain, the first thing to go was my full-size horses. And then it was the minis, and then it was anything else outside, and we just eventually had to get rid of everything. And now the way that my legs do, and I never know when they're going to give out. I never know how many steps I have in a day before my legs will just stop working. So it's kind of funny when they kind of give up at 6:30 and my husband's not due home till midnight. I'm like, well, I'm screwed for 6 hours. But I can't just like take out on a walk, because if those nerve impulses stop, if I'm having a good day but those nerve impulses decide to stop, then I get about a 30-second to a 2-minute warning, and I'm done. I'm shut down. They don't work anymore. I literally become a paraplegic, and it's frustrating. But I can't take a chance on going outside to take care of anything over in the barn lot anymore, over at the barn, because I don't know if I can get there and back safely all the time. So we had to get rid of everything, and life changed a lot when all that happened to me. It's very much like MS, except for they have drugs that can blanket the MS flares, and they can't find anything that can reduce or lessen these flares. And so they just try to treat it symptomatically, but sometimes my legs will swell up and turn purple and red and be like 4 times the size they should be, and you would think I'm going to die, and then they'll go away. And if you ever want to look into it, they call it CRPS now, but I was diagnosed back in the day when they still called it reflex sympathetic dystrophy, but they call it CRPS now. And if you go look at some of the pictures or you watch some of the people that have it, you will see some really horrible life conditions. And I'm luckier than most because I deal with more of a nerve issue than I do the swelling. The swelling happens sometimes, but not consistently. Mostly it's more of the nerve and bone pain issue for me. So I do better than most. And it attacks organs, but luckily it didn't attack my heart. It went to my bowels and my pancreas for some reason. So the organ, it's not affected my organs as bad as it could have. So even though it's terminal, I have a longer lifespan than most people with this. So I can't help but think I'm terribly lucky, even though y'all might think I'm unlucky. I think I'm terribly lucky to have the function I still have compared to some of the people that I know that are close to me that have this. They live in a much worse state than I do. So I feel very lucky most of the time. So my big thing is when my jaw swells up and then I can't talk and I can't come on here and my jaw's like out here and I'm like, I can't talk and I can't communicate. And that's the days that are frustrating to me. I snuggle puss. I haven't even gone to bed. I'm fixing to go to bed. It's been a long night, but I've had good company. So I think I'm about ready to go to bed. I think I'm going to be able to sleep. But if you want to rewind when this loads, after I stop this, literally the first 7 minutes are all you need to watch. The rest of it's just been me visiting with everybody that came in. So, and I appreciate the company. It's kind of helped me process everything, because I was terribly worried. And I still am, but I feel better now that I've voiced my concern and that other people are seeing it. I feel better now. I am. I'm going to go to sleep. My husband's got he's got to check his snare line. He's got to do some work in the fur shop, and he's not going to be really in the house until lunchtime. It's his one day off, so I can sleep. I can totally sleep until lunch, and then get up and make him lunch and not have gotten out of schedule too horrible, not to where he would notice, so I still get my time in with him. Oh, good. Did he say something like that? Thank you for telling me that. I'm glad you relayed that message. I feel better. Makes me feel a lot better. Something changed. Something changed in the mood and the behavior and And I'm glad apparently everyone else picked up on it and was like, I'm done. This is not worth it. Not worth whatever it's going to create. So I'm terribly glad that everybody, is taking heed to the warning we saw, because that's what it was, I believe. I feel better now. Okay, I'm going to scoop up my 9-year-old dog, who will have a birthday Monday. Oscar turns 9 Monday, and he will be having a birthday Alpo cake and a toy. I had to order it, so it should be here by Monday. So we'll get an Oscar birthday video. And I'm going to scoop him up and try to go and rest some. I thought Bobby had control over all of that, the Redneck Nation did. I thought he had pretty much set all that up for church. But honestly, with common law use, you would have to go to federal court to petition the transfer of ownership, so it's not likely it would happen anyway. But I mean, it was a great troll. It was an epic troll. And it was great. And it was great to really make people think and have to learn, But I was terrified from what I saw on video at 2 a.m. that last heavy duty country video. That his demeanor and face, and it just, something was not right. Something was giving me the heebie-jeebies, going, it's not right. Warning. Abort mission. Something was wrong. So, but I feel better now. So I'm glad everybody's brought me in this information. But I'm going to go lay down and try to rest. And I'm glad y'all have set up with me, and I hate that y'all have been awake all night, but I'm glad to have had company, and I'm glad we've chit-chatted and got to know each other. A lot of new names, new faces that I'm going to have to learn. But I'm glad y'all are here. We have a really good family. We talk about real issues. We handle real emotions, and we have a good time. We get a little mischievous every once in a while, but we're a really good group here. And we genuinely do care for everybody that becomes part of our little family. And so I'm happy to have met all of you. I was pretty sure that everything that he had was already actively being monitored by someone. By either Bobby had set it up and then turned it over to a group, or I knew, but still, just the animosity and the deadpan eyes that I saw terrified me. And for me personally, I'm going to be taking a step back on him and going, I'm concerned now that something else is going on, and therefore I'm not going to engage because something else is going on, and I don't want to be part of it. So yeah, that's where I am on that one. So I mean, I'm not going to actively try to interact or make sense of it anymore. It's not worth it. So yeah, the testosterone's getting a bit much. It's like, can we do something else, please? Let's stop trying to ask everybody to box. Ask them to a pedicure off. That would be interesting. I would watch that. I would watch it just for the faces alone that they would make. Winner has to give the other a pedicure. I would watch that. I would be like, that would knock y'all down a peg. I would love to see that occur. That would be great. That's an idea. I may have to throw that one out there. Can you imagine Tubbs giving somebody a pedicure, or somebody giving Tubbs a pedicure? That would be funny. That would crack me up. So, okay. It's 4:20. Haha. I have an air fryer, and did you know I think I'm the only person that's ever about successfully caught an air fryer on fire? That would be me. I got a little too creative with the recipe, and I caught the whole freaking thing on fire. So, yeah, laugh at me. There's your ha-ha bunny. I about, caught my whole kitchen on fire with an air fryer. I'm talented like that. So, I feel better. I'm calm now. I've enjoyed the company. Oh dear. Well, at least he's pawning it off as a lesson learned and moving on. Next time you do donuts, I want pictures. So make sure that you grease everything next time. My dog is bossy. Thank you. I've enjoyed y'all's company too. Thank you so much for spending the night with me. That sounded really tacky. But I needed company. This was good. I needed to talk through this. Thank you all so very, very much. Hope to see you around well beyond this when things are quiet and all is good and we're not worried about people. We're just laughing. So please do come back when I'm having better days and don't look like an absolute giant wreck. I really do look like a person sometimes I come on here. I really do. I swear I do. But thank you all so much for your time. I appreciate it. I hear my husband snoring. I'm going to go roll him over and sneak into bed before he can start snoring again, and maybe I'll go to sleep. I'll check in with you all tomorrow, and I'll try to get just normal live content up tomorrow, and then we'll try to go live again Monday night. So if nothing else, I'll see you Monday, like 7, 8 o'clock. Go to bed, y'all. Thank you. I appreciate everybody spending time with me. I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted.